Boy, have we got a treat for you today. I'm Tammy, the cameraman is Chris, and this is Collard Valley Cooks, where we cook like our mamas did. Today we are making homemade toffee. Some of it has pecans and chocolate, and the other half has roasted almonds and chocolate. We're going to get started, and I'm going to show you how easy it is to make this candy. Okay, we're going to start by buttering your jelly roll pan, 15 by 10. So you're going to butter it so your candy don't stick to it when we get our candy in here. I wasn't going to use my fingers, but since I got these grooves in here, I'm going to have to get it in every little crack. Okay, now the recipe calls for all almonds, but I don't have 2 cups of almonds. So I'm going to use half almonds and half pecans, okay? And it wants you to toast your almonds, and mine are already toasted, so that's easy. So I didn't have to do that step. But the first step is preparing your chocolate and nuts and getting them in this pan right here. So what we're going to do is use our pull chopper, and we're going to put our almonds in here, the ones that I do have, and chop them. Okay, so if you don't want the real powdery ones in there, just get you a little strainer and try to get those to come through the strainer. That way you're just left with the bigger pieces to go in your candy. And I'll show you how little these are and why you wouldn't want them in your candy. It would make it less pretty when you do break it up and put it on a serving sheet. You can tell by looking in there, they're like powder almost. And now you're left with just nice big pieces of almond. And we're just going to spread these on the sheet. This looks like it might be kind of powdery. We're going to make sure it's not. That's what's great about watching me do something instead of just looking at a recipe, is you get more tips and things. I just happen to have some pecan pieces from a company that I like their pecans. It's called the Stone Mountain Pecan Company out of Monroe, Georgia. And I do like their pecans. I've talked to y'all about people's pecans, and some of them I like and some of them I don't. So these are already perfectly sized for toffee. Should do it. And now for the chocolate. You're going to use chocolate morsels. I'm using milk chocolate. I didn't want to do dark chocolate on my toffee. But if you like dark chocolate, and I'm not going to do a whole lot of it either. The pull chop is not doing very good on these, and it might be because the house is so cold and this chocolate is really cold. So I'm going to put them in a bag and beat them up with a mallet. I think that'll work better for what I'm trying to accomplish here. Just get most of the air out of it. All right, that'll do it. They're still in pretty big hunks, but that's all right. It's going to melt. We're just going to sprinkle them on there. These are some hard pieces of chocolate. You could use the tiny mini morsels if you like the dark chocolate, but I don't think you can ever find those in milk chocolate. So it is what it is. What it be? All right, for the toffee, you're going to use 2 sticks of butter. I'm using a non-stick pot. I'm using my green bean pot. And you're going to bring it to a pretty slow boil. And you're going to put in your butter, 2 sticks, and I'm using salted butter because everything sweet's better with a little salt on it. Let me make sure that's not a piece of, it wasn't. Make sure I didn't get paper in there. So we're going to let this butter melt. And as soon as it melts, we're going to add some sugar and 2 tablespoons of water. It's really easy to make, y'all. Let me take off these stupid shoes. I slide my feet. All right, our butter is about melted, so we're going to add a cup of sugar. And 3 tablespoons of cold water. 1, 2, 3. And I'm just going to put barely a little bit more because I couldn't get them completely full. Now you want to use a extra fine sugar when you make candy. And that way the sugar can melt better. All right? And so I'm just going to stir it a little bit. Go around the edge with my little spatula to make sure I don't have sugar on the edge of the pot. And then we're going to cover it. I like to cover candy to make sure all that sugar gets down in there and melts. So we're going to cover it and let it start boiling. And then once it starts a really hard boil, like a lot of bubbles, then it should take about 3 minutes to get hard enough to make toffee. All right, so you're going to boil this until it gets to a soft crack stage, which means it is going to spin a thread. And really about the only way I'm going to be able to tell is just by holding this. You can put this on the bottom because you can tell the needle, it's got a metal thing that keeps the needle from sitting directly on the bottom. It's almost a soft ball. I'm going to turn the heat down a little bit. It's starting to caramelize a little bit and turn color. And that's what peanut brittle always does. All right, we are at the firm ball stage, so it's not going to be long until we get to the soft crack stage, okay? So let me just say this. I want you guys to let us know about your toffee and what kind of toppings you like on yours, okay? And you know toffee is brown. It's turning brown some. So don't ever pour it up until it starts to turn, and that's kind of the way peanut brittle does as well. A lot of peanut brittle you buy is not good and colored. It's light in color, and I like it darker in color. I think it tastes better. All right, we're getting there. All right, I got a taller spatula because it's getting so hot it hurts it's getting my hands too warm. Let me stir it good. It's really about ready. I'm going to sit it right here because it's nonstick and it'll be easy to clean. We're going to get over here and pour it over our nuts and chocolate. Now be careful and do not spread it unless you've got a utensil to spread it with. I'm going to start on the almond side. I'm not sure. They say this is enough for the whole pan, but to me, my recipe tells us to use it over the whole pan. But it sure does seem like a big pan to me. I guess it's supposed to be thin. All right. Look how easy that cleans up. That's the perfect. Now we're making a second batch because I think it needs more on the pan. And I just did a second batch, so it'd be easy. It's better to have too much than not have enough. So whenever you make this, go ahead and mark in your cookbooks. This is in the third cookbook, cookbook volume 3, and mark it and just double everything. I mean, the almonds and the milk chocolate is fine, but double your toffee recipe. So you'll be using 4 sticks of butter, 2 cups of sugar, and 6 tablespoons of cold water. And there's really no need in checking the temperature with a thermometer until it starts to turn brown like horrible, okay? Then you can start checking your temperature, and once it gets to that soft crack, hurry and get it off the stove and in the pan, all right? You don't want to overcook it. It's liable to separate. The candy's liable to separate. But you can tell right now it's not even close to being ready because it's not even turning brown yet. If you want to, of course, you don't even have to put toppings on your toffee. You can just let it be pieces of candy, or you can beat it up really small and use it in cookies, or over the tops of cookies when you bake them, and it's really good. They even sell toffee bit pieces at the store. So you can turn it into toffee bits if you want to. Now, you noticed I pulled it off of the heat just to see where I'm at before I continue cooking it. Okay, here we go. Mm-hmm. That gets it. If you try to spread it and it does like it did the first time I tried to spread it, because there wasn't enough on here, don't tear it all to pieces trying to spread it. It don't matter. You could even pick up the pan like this and let it run if you wanted to, but I think it's perfect just like that. So we're going to let this cool down, and then we're going to crack it up and get us a bite. All right, we're going to take some parchment and get our candy out on top of it. And really, it would have been good to line this with a piece of parchment. Then I could have just lifted it right out. Looks good. Come out of the pan good. So I must have did a pretty good job buttering it. Boy, it looks pretty, don't it? So let's break it up. It looks so good, y'all. The chocolate looks good. The chocolate is like in the middle of the toffee. It's like right in the middle. It's really delicious. So I think making 2 batches was smart. All right, you got your pecan side and you got your almond side. I'm going to try the almond side. That is so dreamy. I don't know what else to say. It's dreamy. Dreamy delicious. Woo! Boy, it's hard to beat that. I can guarantee you one thing. You can't buy something that tastes this good. Wow, wow, wow. Is that delicious? I mean, so good. I'm going to let Chris taste it. Y'all have got to try this recipe. It's super easy. And boy, will everybody love it. This would be great to give as gifts as well.
That's so good. We got too much of this. We got to get rid of it. I'm going to be eating it all day long.
It's going to be good for football, isn't it? It's a good football treat. This is some delicious stuff. It's a must-try recipe. Don't be intimidated because it's candy. It'll be good. Just cook it till it's about this color if you don't have a thermometer and pour it up. All right? Just make sure it's nice and dark like this before you do. All right? I will see you next time on Colored Valley Cooks, where we're cooking up good old-fashioned candy just like our mamas did. Love ya. Bye. When you have people come over for the holidays, they want a good piece of candy. And let me tell you, this is a good old-fashioned butter toffee recipe that can't be beat. Let's get started.
Cooking time, it's over now. Tammy, she just showed you how to cook it up like Mama used to do. So go